Moving on now, the beheading of a French school teacher in Islamic extremist attack in Paris has sent shockwaves across the world. While the French President Emmanuel Macron himself has paid tribute to the fallen teacher, we have got some latest information coming in on this investigation. Two teenagers aged 14 and 15 have been charged with complicity in the murder case. The students had helped the 18-year-old killer identify the teacher, Samuel Paty, in exchange of about $400. Now, according to prosecutors, the killer told the students he wanted to film the teacher and make him apologize for the cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad. The students allegedly stayed with him for more than 2 hours outside the school until the teacher appeared. The pair, 2 of 7 people, that the French authorities are seeking to prosecute over the brutal attack. This came just ahead of a national homage ceremony for Samuel Paty. French President Emmanuel Macron paid his tribute to the slain teacher. Speaking on the steps of Paris's prestigious university, the president described Paty as a silent hero who helped spread notions of freedom in classrooms. Later, Macron also met with the family of the murdered teacher and vowed that France will not give up on cartoons. Macron also said that his country will continue its fight for liberty and that teachers will continue to be supported by the government.
Samuel Paty est devenu vendredi le visage de la République, de notre volonté de briser les terroristes, de réduire les islamistes, de vivre comme une communauté de citoyens libres dans notre pays, le visage de notre détermination à comprendre, à apprendre, à continuer d'enseigner.
Samuel Paty, the 47-year-old father of one, was targeted close to his school near Paris. Paty became the subject of an online hate campaign after he showed cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad to students in a civics class to elicit debate on freedom of expression. His killer, an 18-year-old refugee, was shot dead by police shortly after the attack. The same images had unleashed a bloody assault by Islamist gunmen on the offices of satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo 5 years ago, in which 12 people, including cartoonists, were killed. Moving on now, posing an environmental threat in the Caribbean, an oil crisis is unfolding in the Gulf of Paria. Now, the Venezuelan floating oil facility under repairs is the Nabrima floating storage and offloading, which is dangerously tilting between the islands of Trinidad and the coast of Venezuela. Now, the oil tanker contains over 1 million barrels of oil and is at a risk of capsizing in the Gulf of Paria. Now, the crude-laden vessel at an incline has raised concerns about the possible environmental hazards. Now, the oil tanker is operated by the Petroscure joint venture between Venezuelan State Oil Company and Italy's Eni. Now, Petroscure suspended output shortly after Washington sanctioned PDVSA in January 2019. About 1.3 million barrels of Corocoro crude oil remained stuck on the vessel, which is located in the Paria Gulf between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago. Now, sanctions have deprived this of its former main crude buyer. US-based refining subsidiary Citgo Petroleum Corp has concerns, and they are being raised now, about a potential oil spill which would devastate the livelihoods of the country's fishermen.
It looks like it's held together with the anchor chains, and that's why it's not flipping. But we don't know how strong the chains are. We know that the vessel is full of crude oil. We know that nothing has been done. No one is doing anything. And you can see that it's held together by the anchor chain, and that's not enough. If something goes on, if we have bad weather, there are a number of circumstances that could cause the vessel to flip,